Hi, I'm Radlin Mendoza, immigration attorney in Virginia Beach, Virginia. I'm here to talk about a Virginia Lawyers Weekly article about a same-sex couple that I represented at the local immigration office here in Norfolk, Virginia. The clients that I represented, Amanda Harmon and Tori Brock, are a couple from Lexington, Virginia. Tori is from England originally, and Amanda is from the United States in West Virginia originally. And the couple met many years ago and have been together for 16 years. But the problem was that Tori could not get a permanent visa to come to the United States, and Amanda actually had to move to England for 10 years for them to be together. So around 2007, Amanda and Tori decided to come to the United States and open up a business. And so Tori came on a temporary visa called the E2 visa. One of the questions we get a lot from our same-sex green card marriage cases, and when I say same-sex green card marriage cases, or just green card marriage cases generally, it's when one spouse is a foreign national, the other spouse is a U.S. citizen, and the foreign national spouse wants to reside permanently in the United States or get lawful permanent resident status here in the United States. But one of the questions that we get a lot is our case going to be treated differently than an opposite-sex green card marriage case? When we went to the interview, like all of my couples, I would say all of them, they were extremely nervous. But I'm happy to report that they were treated exactly the same as my opposite-sex green card marriage cases. So let's get back to those questions. What to expect at your adjustment of status interview or your green card interview based on marriage to United States citizen. The two questions. Number one, what should I bring to the interview? And number two, what is the immigration officer going to ask us? I've done hundreds of marriage interview cases, and one of the things that you should expect is for your immigration officer who's deciding your case to be respectful and courteous. Another thing that you should expect is for the immigration officer to go over all of the documents that you filed regarding your case. And that includes the petition, the green card application, and the affidavit of support, as well as the biographic data forms, the medical that you all submitted. The immigration officer is going to go through all of this documentation to make sure that it's current and everything is correct. Another thing that the immigration officer is going to do is she's going to have a conversation with you about your marriage. It's not grilling. It should be a pleasant conversation. Where did you meet? How did you meet? When did you decide to get married? How long were you dating before you got married? These types of questions. And the purpose of these questions is for the immigration officer to get a little bit of background on the case, because the officer is going to meet with you for only about 30 minutes or less. And so these conversational type questions about your relationship is very important to shed light on your marriage and for the immigration officer to feel comfortable that it is a bona fide marriage. The immigration officer is also going to ask you all what you've brought to her with regard to documentation to show that it's a bona fide marriage. What do I mean by documentation? Well, if you've been married, then she's going to want to see things like a joint banking account, joint utility bills, jointly filed taxes if you've been married long enough, photos of you together, and not just photos of your wedding day, but a variety of photos to show that you've gone on vacations together, to show holidays, to show trips, these types of things. Auto insurance, health insurance, life insurance. If you have any of these types of documentation, then absolutely make copies of them and give them to the immigration officer. My clients, Tori and Amanda, had such a long-standing relationship that when we got to their interview, they had tons of bona fide marriage evidence, which made my job a lot easier. The immigration officer, as that article points out, approved that case right on the spot. Most of my couples, generally speaking, have been together for less than a year. So what do you do if you don't have all that documentation? Well, you have to think outside of the box. and bring things in such as Facebook posts, for example, or cards that perhaps you all have written each other over the years. You may think about some of the memberships that you have together. Costco, I've presented documentation like that to the immigration officer and it has been accepted. But the more documentation that you can provide at the time of your interview, the greater chance that you're going to have of getting your green card case approved. Congratulations if you filed or are thinking about filing a green card for your spouse. And if you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free to give me a call at my office. The number is 757-464-9224, or you can email me at info@gmlaw.net.